All right, here we go, this 3 o'clock hour. Eliezer Anderson, Sam Houston State offensive tackle. He'll join us today in the next segment. They are in the national championship game against South Dakota State. We had Eliezer on last week. He, of course, once played for Baylor. But right now we're joined by Wainright. He's been playing for a team out of France and Europe and been traveling all over the place. And he joins us, former Baylor great, on SicEm365 Radio. All right, Ish, I saw where you guys were, I think, going to play in Russia. And I want to make sure I get the timeline correctly. Where are you now? Is the season continuing? Where are you?
The season is continuing. We just got back from Russia from Basketball Champions League. We finished fourth. In the final 8, we finished fourth. And now we're back in French League. I believe we have 10 to 12 more games starting back up next week. We have to quarantine for a couple of days just because we came from Russia. So getting back to practice on Thursday. Like I said, we got, I think, 10 to 12 more games. I'm not sure if we're going to start playoffs right after those games, but yeah, we have a lot more games compared to a lot of other countries.
Ish, what's it like going all over the place and playing basketball? I mean, it's not like, the Big 12, you wind up in Kansas and Iowa and West Virginia and stuff like that. I mean, you're going to Russia, you're going to France and Spain and all this. What's that been like?
It's been fun, to be honest. We actually took a private jet to go to Russia. The team, the president paid for a private jet. But I mean, it's fun. I mean, to travel the country, travel the world, go to different countries. Me personally, I like getting stamps on my passport. I mean, that proves that I like to travel a lot. But it's fun, different sites. I mean, the world is a little shut down over here, but I mean, just being able to travel to Russia, to Spain, to Germany, to different places like that, seeing different sites. It's amazing, man.
Ish, you didn't necessarily have to continue the basketball journey, but a while ago you decided to. Your thoughts on making that decision to keep going forward with basketball and just what it's brought to you in the time since.
Oh man, I tell people nowadays, I feel like I took basketball for granted. Some people say you should never take the game that you love for granted. I took it for granted. I was away from it for a year, but I'm a year behind. That's what I tell myself also. I'm a year behind. But it's taken me to higher heights. I mean, I went from second division Germany to now I'm playing in by far one of the best. I'm in France first division. Last year I was in Germany first division playing Basketball Champions League, which is probably right underneath Euro League right now. And then that was last year. Also this year, I mean, playing in France first division, playing against guys that's been in the over here for 13 years, guys that you hear of in college. It's taken me. Just the steps that I've taken is unbelievable in my eyes, and I mean I just continue to just keep playing good. I'm gonna try to keep playing good and just see where it could take me next year.
So where were you and what? Let's see. If the men played Gonzaga April 5th at 9 o'clock, to me that means it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning where you are. Did you stay up to watch the game, or is that just a dumb question?
Oh no, that's a dumb question. I stayed up. I could not go to sleep. I stayed up, and I was jumping around in the room. I'm surprised my neighbors didn't call the cops or anything. But man, I was excited. Man, I could not. I woke up the next morning. I don't think I went to sleep. I probably went to sleep for about an hour and a half and woke up for practice. And still had a good practice, but I mean, everybody knew I was going to stay up and watch that game. It wasn't nothing that you could really tell me. I was going to stay up no matter what to watch that game.
Ish, your team was the first team that got to number 1. Was that the first moment that maybe you guys kind of knew that what happened on April 5th, winning a national championship, was in the cards for Baylor eventually?
Oh, for sure. We knew that before then. We knew one of these years, even with us becoming number 1, that opened up a lot of eyes to, around the world, around the country, that Baylor Nation and Baylor University is nice. I mean, they were nice before. They were nice with Tweety, nice with Curtis, nice with Lace, Isaiah, TP. But, us becoming number one in the country, and then that next year, and then the next year, and then April 5th. You can't take April 5th away from anybody that put on that Baylor jersey. We're all national champions. So can't take that away. We knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen 2 summers ago when I went down and talked with the whole team that won that championship. And even just talking with the young guys that was a part of the team this past year. So, I knew that was going to happen. Everybody did.
When you talk to those young guys, you talk to the team, what's kind of your message to those guys typically?
Take every day and learn from it every day. Don't take advantage of every single day. I actually just talked to Jordan about that. Jordan Turner, just talked to him about that. Take every day and take advantage of it, because you're in college. Everything is. You have everything there. Coach Drew has made it to the point where it's 24-hour facility is open, 24 hours. You can go in there by yourself and get your shots up. You can go in there, and Charlie is probably the best strength and conditioning coach in the country. So you have the best strength and conditioning coach, the best facilities. I mean, you take advantage of that right now, because once you get to that next level, or if you come overseas, you probably won't have that same, advantage, so take advantage of that, and things will just fall in place.
Ish, when you were in high school, you had somebody tell you would never go to college or graduate. Can you take me back to that story and what was said to you, and how did that motivate you for the rest of the time until you were able to graduate from Baylor?
Well, in high school, I can honestly say I was one of those top ranked, especially going to my freshman year, top ranked guys. All the thing I wanted to do was play basketball. Didn't take school serious, wanted to be the class, I stood out, class clown, whatever. But yeah, when somebody tells you that you're not going to graduate, you're not going to go to college, you have to go to JUCO and you have to take that route. You probably won't even do that. Probably won't even make it out of Kansas City. That holds that can stick on to someone to the point where that can break that person. I didn't allow that to break me. I didn't allow none of that to hurt who I am today. Actually, like I said, it motivated me. My goal was to prove a lot of people wrong, and I'm still proving a lot of people wrong because I graduated. I graduated from Baylor University. This is my 3rd year playing professional basketball, and I could have played professional football if you really want to think about it. But I mean, I'm not gonna say any name who that person was, but I mean, the only thing I can say is look at me now. I had the last laugh, and I'm living my life. I'm living my dream, and I can't wait to see where it takes me. This is only year 3, so I can't wait.
Mark Vital graduated on Saturday. He's the first person in his family to receive a college degree. I'm not sure if you saw that or not.
I've seen it.
What college athletics or athletics can do to give opportunities to Ish Wainright, to give opportunities to Mark Vital, to break the trends or not be statistics or just fulfill dreams?
No, it can do anything. That's something that nobody can take away from myself. Nobody can take away from Mark Vital. Mark Vital broke a family curse. I broke a curse, and it's many more kids that's going to break a curse. When some guys weren't able to do what we did, some guys weren't able to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go run miles with Coach Charlie. Some guys weren't able to. Some guys couldn't do that. So like I said, we broke that family curse. We broke what was going on with our ancestors. We did it. And so, I mean, it's a lot more kids that can do the exact same thing we did, and probably even better. Some kids may come to Baylor and win 4 in a row, 2 in a row, 3 in a row, so yeah, you can't take that away from us.
Ish, I know that Mark Vital was kind of, I mean, he's certainly his own guy, but he is a little bit after your own heart the way he plays, and was the whatever you need in this moment, that's what I'm going to do. And he was always a bull in the China shop, but he was bull in the China shop at the beginning. What did you see from him and his growth from when you were here? I guess you overlapped for like 1 year with Vital, right? And then now, yeah. How did you see his growth?
His growth actually I've been knowing Mark for a minute. He was there, I think my junior year he came on a visit, or in my sophomore he came on a visit with Boog and all them, all the guys from Louisiana. We called him Baby Rico from the beginning. But seeing his growth, he actually redshirted my freshman year. Him and Tyson, they redshirted my freshman year, and I was so mad that they redshirted we redshirted Mark and Tyson. But just watching his growth, he has been through everything. Everybody at that side goes that weight up and down, and I kind of seen I did the same thing in college. That weight went up and down, but he stayed aggressive. He stayed, he worked on his handle. He worked on passing. He worked on defense. Defense was the main thing that he really worked on, and you can tell that he studied more. Over those 5 years in college, you could tell that he watched a lot of film on each defender that he went up against. And just even as a person, we had our talks when I was there. Him just lived, being before college, as a kid growing up, it was rough, so he took advantage of that college. He gave back to the community. He used to I'm pretty sure he used to send some of his stipend back home to his family. He had no choice, because his family needed to eat. He provided for his family, and now he's about to be able to provide for his family even more, so that growth is it was amazing just to see him grow into the young man that he is now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of prayer and a lot of, just he's gotten a lot closer with God too. So that's also helped.
Ish, I know that there's still, months to go before the season starts back up again, but, just hearing you talk about some of the members of this team, obviously they're going to lose, Davion and Maceo, and who knows what's going to happen with Jared Butler, and who knows what's going to happen with Matthew Meyer, depending on what he hears. But what do you think of the crop of guys that will be returning next year? A lot of players, it seems like, with some experience returning, but also some big opportunities in front of some guys.
Oh, a big opportunity. A lot of guys, like you said, are going to be leaving. And I'm extremely proud of those guys, Davion, Jared, and Maceo. And if the young fella, if Matt hears something, I'm going to be extremely excited that he hears something. Whatever he hears, I hope is good. But the guys that's coming in they're amazing kids. I've watched film on those guys. You got Kendall, you got the young kid from Poland, and he's been playing against pros, so it's another group of guys, coaches Baylor's turned into one of those blue collar teams and blue blood. So I'm loving it. And then also the guys that I think we just signed 2 point guards. And so, Coach Drew's doing his thing. Coach Drew and Coach Tang are doing his thing, Also with the guys that have been there. Now the guys are more experienced. The guys they have played in good games. They're more experienced, and so now they understand what Big 12 basketball is and what a championship team. What is it? What do they take to be champions? Mm-hmm. Now they have to step up to the plate, and we have to prove the world that we can do it again. That we will do it again. Everybody's we have a bullseye on our back.
Can you tell me what you wrote the team in a letter when you were a senior that showed amazing leadership?
I have to look that up, but to show, it's a lot of. I'm pretty sure I had a talk with the guys. Oh, I don't remember what I said in the letter, but I remember that letter. But I'm gonna talk about the time that I talked with them as a team. I just my senior year, I just thank the team. I really thank every last one of those guys of what they brought to that year. And then I carried it over to the next year when I was playing football. I still consider myself as a senior or as a leader to that team because those guys that were still playing was a part of my team. And it happened, and I guess that carried over every single year. But I mean, I talked with the guys. I let them know, like, it's going to be tough sometimes. There's going to be times where you're going to be like, I can't do this. You're going to wake up and be like, oh, man, I got class and I got workouts. I got tutoring. You know, it's going to be times, but you have to look. Not if it was hard, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be doing it.
Yeah, Coach Drew told me he's one of the and this is a team that we just saw win the national title that was incredibly unselfish. But Ish Wainright was one of the best leaders, most selfless players we've ever had. Whatever it took for the team, no matter what we needed him to do, he would do it and was extremely coachable. Was that always the case with you?
It was. I mean, it was sometimes I'll be upset, but I didn't let that get to me because who else is going to do it? I mean, who else is going to do those little things? Who else is going to take a charge? Who else is going to dive over a table and for a loose ball to get an extra possession? Who else was going to, I took that role. And, I wanted to learn every day. I wanted to learn. Coach Drew said, do this, I will do that. That's my job. That was his job to tell me what I need to do on the court, and I took it. But then I also looked at it as I got older. You have a coaching staff that is relying on a bunch of 17 to 21-year-olds, to feed their families. So I looked at it at that perspective my junior, senior year, especially my senior year when I had my daughter. I have to rely on a bunch of guys, to help me feed my family. So then I'm like, okay, so Coach Drew, they have a tough job, because it's a lot of egos, it's a lot of attitudes, it's a lot of different mentalities, personalities, everything. So now you have to, I took that and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this because if I do this, we're going to win. If I don't do this, then there's possibility we can lose. And if we lose, nobody likes losing. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And that's just been my mindset for years. And it's still my mindset to this day. No matter what, if I need to be a water boy for a game, I'll be a water boy for a game. That's going to help us win.
Well, it did. And I have, there's a tweet that I want to ask you about. This was the next morning after Baylor had won the national championship. Armstrong, could you put that up, if you don't mind, on the screen? The tweet is, we finally got one at Kim Mulkey with the bulging eyes with the stars, the red. What was, the women have 3. So what was that?
They have 3. Okay. So my freshman year, we were practicing and, we were doing our 5-on-5 scrimmages and stuff like that. And Kim Mulkey walks in the gym with the team and we're like, we stopped. She yells out, well, you guys got to get off my court, but you can get back on once you win a national championship. And so we're all looking. We're in the middle of practice. We're all looking like, what are you talking about? Okay, we know you have championship, but you're about to kick us off the court. This is the main court. And Coach Drew was like, well, she's right. And we all just took off to the practice gym. And that happened at least once a year, but since I've been there. And so, seeing Coach Mulkey around the locker room and, joking around, I love her. And I know she's going to do good things at LSU. She did amazing things here at Baylor. But she used to joke around with us all the time. Well, I have 3 of them. I have 2 of them. No, at the time, I have 2 of them. I have 3 of them. When y'all going to get one? I'm like, Coach, we're working on it. We're working on it. So now we won that. And one of the first person I thought about was Coach Mulkey. I wonder what she's saying right now. Like, I'm pretty sure she's like, yes, Coach, you finally got one, So we joked about that every year that I was there and seeing her and, all those banners up there and then in the gym. We wanted one and we finally got one. So I had to tweet that. I don't know if she's seen it, but everybody else seen it.
No, I did. I saw it immediately. that was at 6:30 in the morning the following day. I know that you'd love to have been at the parade. How much did that hurt that you couldn't be there?
Can we have another one?
Hey, yeah. They'll try.
Somewhere, can we have another one?
Yeah.
Nah, but I really wanted to get there. I really wanted to be there. I wanted to at least go to a game that last year, this year. Hopefully I'll make one next year. I'm going to try my best to make a couple games whenever I can, especially hopefully another parade. I'll be at the next parade for sure.
That would be awesome. Ish, good luck with Strasbourg, right? Is that how you say
Yes,
it?
sir.
Strasbourg in
Yes, sir.
France with what you have, a few more games left. Congratulations on playing well in Russia. And what you're doing, too, you're putting up numbers, not just points, but all the other stuff that Ish Wainright does. And, man, it's great to hear from you. A lot of people excited about it. Thanks for your time and enjoy. And then get back over here whenever you can and come back and hug some people's necks at Baylor.
I will. I'll be in Waco this summer. I'll make sure everybody. I'll make sure I tweet it and let it be known that I'll be in Waco and do something. I don't know, but no, I really appreciate you having me on the show. And anytime,
you too.
Anytime. All right.
We like to always hear from Ish Wainright. SicEm Bears is what he said. Ish Wainright now with Strasbourg in France, and he was. They called Mark Vidal the glue guy. He was part of that. Mr. Glue Guy, too. He did all the little things.
Was a big part of that. I mean, we say it was a culture change. It was the Jake Lindsey, King McClure, like that kind of group right there that was do whatever it is. Like if you're not a three-point shooter, let's forget about it. Like all those things that the players had, the coaches can say and say and say, but until the players buy in, and not that Coach Drew never got the players buy in, but that's what led to being a good team for a while to being a great team, which they've been for the last 2 years. So those teams led them from being good to great. They finally got to that great level, and Ish was a huge part of that because, again, he had great stat lines except for points. I mean, he had like 6 points, but you look and he's got 11 rebounds and, a couple blocks, and he also made plays that don't really show up on the stat sheet where like his hustle plays were the reason that they went on a run because he saved a ball out of bounds or he did whatever it took. And
remember that play of Maceo T, Craig, who jumps out of bounds, around the chair, saves it, runs all the way back on the court, comes all the way back to the following corner, and gets in the way of a shot. The guy missed the shot. That's what Ish Wainright would do as well.
Yeah, it is. And you see why Ish is a good influence on this program, a good, alum to have around. To talk with the young guys, to be a sounding board in some cases for the young guys, but also to be able to, say things that only fellow players can really say to you or maybe get through to your brain. So, yeah, I mean, the more Ish Wainright and so many of the other alums that we've talked to are a part of the program, I think that's a good thing. I loved hearing him elaborate on that tweet he had on the night of the championship game. Only unfortunate part is that we won't be able to see Kim walk into the court and say, well, get off because you don't have one of those, because now they do. And so, unfortunately, we can never see Scott go, no, we do have one. We don't have to leave the court, or whatever his response would have been. But, yeah, great story there from Ish. And just always love hearing, guys who have moved on. We've talked to guys certainly who maybe aren't in the best places or aren't as happy. Pierre Jackson was someone who, when we talked to him, he was struggling a little bit. Hopefully he's doing okay. But I think Ish was, had periods of that as well. But to hear him and how happy he is right now, being back with the game that he loves and being able to travel the world, I think that's awesome.
When we come back, Eliasa Anderson from Sam Houston, the football team, playing for the national title against South Dakota State coming up this weekend in Frisco. Go back-to-back weeks with the former Baylor offensive lineman, and this is SicEm365 Radio.
if you're looking for a new home,